actually, I don't know if I said my name at all in this video, which I feel like should be one of the questions, but hi, I'm Nikki. I use they, them pronouns, and this is my YouTube channel. Okay, I don't know if it's like too late for me to be doing this, but this is the booktube newbie tag. Yeah, I feel like people usually do this as an intro to their channel, but you know, in the grand scheme of things though, like I'm very new to this still. Like I just started at the beginning of this year. I've always enjoyed video editing and I've wanted to do YouTube videos for a long time, but I've just been a coward about it. Yeah, you can like ask my sister how many times I've tried to like post YouTube videos or like start a YouTube channel. I can bring my perspective as like a queer Indian person who's also disabled to booktube. Also my interests in baking and cooking, as well as like watching movies, and also my love of libraries and the public library system, specifically the Boston Public Library system, because that's where I live. As much as I do love buying books and supporting like small bookstores, and it's like one of my favorite souvenirs to buy for myself when I travel, I do read largely books from the public library. By supporting the public library by just like checking out books, you're supporting like kids programming in your area, as well as like after school programming and adult education classes and fun shit for the community. Like hell yeah, I'll check out books. And I feel like that the last thing that I can bring to booktube is that I read pretty diversely in terms of like what I'm interested in and the genres and authors that I read. Since I started making videos about the books that I'm reading, I have been like more actively engaging with the books that I read. Now I have to like think about how I would summarize my thoughts about a book, articulating my feelings about a book or my criticisms. I'm also excited about like documenting my life and my interests at like different times in my life. Even like watching a video that I made like a month ago, I'm like, oh yeah, I was really excited about that recipe, or like this is what I was doing with my friend. And I'm also excited for all my friends to tell me that they love my videos. I'm like, I don't know, it's fun. It's just a fun thing for me. I feel like reading, especially like reading from perspectives that aren't your own, is like really mind expanding. And the more that I read, the more I like make connections to my life and the world around me, to the books that I've read, and it just kind of like helps make more sense of like what's going on around you. I feel like I loved all the popular teen fiction that was coming out when I was growing up, like Percy Jackson, Hunger Games, Twilight. And then I was really into this like sci-fi series called the Gone series. And then the other series that I was like super into is called Bloody Jack. I actually have the book right here. This is the first book in the series. It's called Bloody Jack, being an account of the curious adventures of Mary Jackie Faber, ship's boy. This book is about a little orphan girl in London in like the 1800s, and she like sneaks onto a Royal Navy ship disguised as a boy. So queer. Like she literally has like a packer in this book because she's like, people are gonna notice that I'm not growing anything down there. Yeah, I love the main character as a protagonist. She's like sassy and like fierce, is really funny, and like has a sense of humor about it, and also admits when she's afraid. I don't know, she's just a really compelling protagonist. I highly recommend reading this series. You want to hang out? We could get coffee and talk about books. It would be so fun. Filming outside of my apartment, even if I'm not filming myself, like if I'm just like filming some flowers or like a pretty sunset, I don't know why that part I still have a lot of like self-consciousness about. But it's like getting better. The other thing that is kind of hard is like coming up with titles for videos. And like I can't just label everything like reading, baking, vlog. Like that would be every video, you know? I'm assuming this is not asking like when did you develop your literacy, but yeah, I feel like I got really into reading in middle school. Like I would always be reading under the desk in class and like pretending like I was taking notes. I was also just like a very like voracious reader. Like I would just tear through books, and I loved doing like summer reading challenges at the library and stuff like that. And I also loved reading about animals. Like all the books that I was reading had animal protagonists, and I vividly remember my dad being like, you have to read about humans, you can't just read about animals. And I was like, why? I can read anywhere. Like I'll bring my book with me and like read while I'm waiting for the bus, you know, read with friends in coffee shops, wherever. But I feel like most of my reading gets done on my couch at home with Kashi laying on my legs. I think that most of the books I read are categorized as like general literary fiction. I don't read a lot of like genre fiction, but every now and then I'll read some sci-fi or like speculative fiction. Also lately I have been reading the Warrior Cats books. I don't usually read fantasy or like YA middle grade, but I'm really into that series now. And the last question is, what does your book collection look like?